What's up everyone? Welcome to another episode. Today we're going to be talking about this dream team being the Winspace Agile as well as the Winspace Hyper wheels in the third generation. When I received the Winspace Agile frame a couple months back, I was actually deeply in my I love steel or metal frames above everything phase. I just recently ordered my custom titanium frame from Waldley. So to be honest, when this frame arrived, I thought that it's just going to be another bike review, nothing really special. But to be honest, so this frame actually turned out to be so much fun, and it somehow, slightly at least, won me over a bit to give carbon bikes another chance, because this bike really rides beautifully. So I think, let me quickly get back inside so we can talk about it. So years ago, when I started my cycling adventures and when I was buying my first velo-built frame, I often actually kept looking at the Winspace website, and particularly at their T1500, I think was their aero frame back then at the time. So I was dreaming that at one day I'll be able to purchase one of these. But back then it felt rather expensive to me, not knowing anything about cycling, and especially when comparing it to the price of a velo-built or AliExpress frame. Of course, the Winspace stuff felt quite premium to me. And yeah, if you're following this channel, I think you know that by now things have changed. So when I'm now looking at a Winspace frame, I rather see a frame which has actually quite a good price-performance ratio, especially when you compare it to some of the mainstream brands. But anyways, this is where my emotional connection to Winspace comes from, basically being the brand that I had on my radar from the very beginning, being something that I was aspiring towards at some point. But let's talk about the frame. Right now, I think I've done around 700 to 800 kilometers on the Agile, and while I in the beginning didn't really think that I would like this frame too much, especially after falling in love with steel and titanium by now, I have to say that this bike has been so much fun. I mean, of course, I personally like how the bike looks overall. I mean, this nice black and white high contrast look, I mean, it's very appealing to me. But also after riding classic looking frames for a while now, I have to say that you can really feel the effect of riding an aerodynamically designed frame. So I'm not gonna lie, it definitely feels like a proper speed machine. There's no doubt about it, especially as I said, if you're comparing it to something like my custom titanium build or the Standard Triebwerk, which has those rather round and classical tube shapes, which are not designed to be aero in the first place. But yeah, of course, no surprise that it feels like a speed machine. I mean, if you already look at all those like deep profiles while being super thin as well, this nice FSA headset, which nicely covers all your cables, which saves you some extra watts, of course. So, well, of course, this bike is, fully aero and particularly designed towards that, especially when you're switching from a steel or classic titanium bike. It doesn't actually feel too harsh. So that was the thing that I had in the back of my mind, that, of course, carbon frames are the ones which are going to be really harsh and very painful, especially when you're out for longer rides. I mean, of course, don't get me wrong, it's definitely not as comfortable as my steel or my titanium bike, but I recently just made a 135 kilometer ride on this bike, and I still, even after hours, felt very comfortable afterwards, and even riding like this super naked, just pure carbon saddle. So while being super stiff in general, there definitely is some compliance in this design, which contributes to some comfort. So you can definitely take out this bike and comfortably ride it for hours and hours without feeling uncomfortable. So I was initially riding this frame with my Elite Wheels drive wheels, the Napest wheels, as well as the Gold wheels, and it was really good fun, and it had all the speed attributes that I was just mentioning, especially with the Gold wheels, which have those steel spokes, who even had a little bit of extra comfort, I would say, because of a little bit extra dampening of like road vibrations, which just comes with steel spokes in the first place. But then recently Winspace offered to send over the latest Hyper wheels, and here I didn't really want to look at what's the lightest wheel set. I just wanted to go as aero as possible for this one, so I decided to go for the D67s because I'm mainly riding here in Berlin or in Warsaw where it's rather flat. So yeah, I don't necessarily need to be a weight weenie on this one because this is supposed to be my ride, especially for flat rides. And I have to say, with those D67s, that even leveled up the whole speed experience to another level. So these wheels are really badass. So I have to say, I think you've seen a bunch of reviews of wheel sets on my channel recently, and I have to be honest, I really have a hard time these days feeling a difference between a lot of those 50mm deep section wheels. Especially I would say, of course, there are some minor differences here and there, but I would say in a blind test, I would have a really hard time to differentiate those. While if you compare any of those wheel sets to the D67s, there is definitely a very clear, a very clear change of experience. They just feel faster. I mean, it could also be just a subconscious thing because they also just look faster because of their depth, and maybe that's adding some extra motivation for you to just push a little bit more. But as I say, I think in the end the experience matters, and my experience is really that even a casual rider like me can definitely feel a difference between most of the 50mm wheel sets that I recently reviewed and something like those D67s. And to be honest, I don't really know why that is. Maybe it's the rim depth at a rather still pretty lightweight setup. Maybe it is the extra wide spokes that those wheels have. Maybe it's that bonus whoosh whoosh noise that you can hear when you're pushing it down. And maybe it's just a mix of everything and just the motivation, as I said, that make your legs push a little bit harder, knowing that you're riding this kind of white Batmobile kind of setup. But yeah, bottom line, this Winspace Agile with those 3rd generation Hypers is super fun. It's a really super fun ride. It's a great alternative, I would say, to jump over from one of my classic metal bikes in case I feel the need for some extra speed. Nice rhyme. Also, just before recording this video, I actually dropped those Hyper wheels onto my brand new 3D printed Bossy Strada bike, which is a titanium 3D printed frame. And this also seems like a dream combo a little bit. Of course, the Strada isn't as aero as the Agile is, being a titanium frame. But I have to say that also when I compare this ride with some of the 40 or even 50mm wheels, it definitely feels just that little bit faster. So I might keep those wheels on that frame for a little bit now. So bottom line, what can I say about this setup? Can I recommend it? And lots of people already asked me in the comments of other videos because I'm so sorry that it took a little while to get this video out. But I really wanted to spend some time with that frame and now also with those wheels and review them together. But then ultimately I think my answer is yes, absolutely. So if you're looking for a fast carbon frame based setup without spending crazy amount of money, I think this is an absolute recommendation. I mean, I haven't had so much fun on a carbon frame for a while now, and as I initially said, I didn't think I would like this bike in the first place, but it really impressed me. So I think now, after riding this frame, I am giving carbon at least a slight second chance. I think steel and titanium bikes are still gonna be up here, but I'm not eliminating carbon anymore. And I thought that I'm kind of done with this word. So I think it's coming in. I don't think it's going to reach that level of passion, I would say, in regards to frame materials. But I'm definitely giving it another chance, and I love riding this bike. So maybe there are going to be some further exciting, carbon-based setups coming up on the channel, just to see, where this carbon technology has been or is going these days. So of course, while this is not a paid review, I mean, Winspace hasn't paid me anything for this review. They only sent over the frame and the wheels for me to test, and they're also not seeing that content before you were seeing it. They also didn't, give me any restrictions about what to say. But I just wanted to use that moment to say thanks a lot to Winspace for taking a little bit of a chance on me by sending over this carbon frame to somebody that I think by now is known as a steel and titanium lover, because in theory this review could have also gone into a very different direction. So if you have any particular questions towards the frame or the wheels, feel free to drop them down in the comments below, and don't forget to hit that like button in case you like this video, which I hope, because you're still watching. And with that, as always, I say thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.